Hello, this video covers Pre-Cal Homework 1.9a, Solutions 1 through 10, where we go over, at least the first 6 here are our perfect square trinomial questions. All right, so we want to factor these. So A, first term is a perfect square, and that's going to be 3x, right? 9x squared, 3x, and b is 7y. So this one, since everything is a plus, this one would factor into a plus b all squared, so 3x plus 7y all squared. And if you want to check that, just write it twice and FOIL it out, and you'll come back to the original here. All right, for number 2, a is 6x, and I do want you to show a and b. b equals 5. Everything is positive, so this is going to factor into 6x plus 5 all squared. All right, number 3, a is 7x. B would be 5y. All right, taking the square root of 25y squared and the square root of 49x squared. We do have a minus here in the center. And all of these are the center term will be 2ab. I'm not going to fake you out and give you one that doesn't work. But so this would be 7x minus 5y all squared. All right, number 4, a would be 9x, and b is 5. All plus, so this would factor into 9x plus 5, all squared. All right, so thank goodness for this pattern, or you would be just having a trial and error of this, so it wouldn't be much fun. Oops. All right, so 5 and 6 are kind of special cases here. A would be 2r plus q, that's a q. And then b is 3. And the way to write this is just go ahead and utilize a bracket. There's a minus there, so it would be 2r plus q in parentheses minus 3 all squared. I think that's the nicest way to present that information. And then for number 6, we would have a is p plus 3r, and b would be 2. Okay, so we'll write this again with the bracket p plus 3r, and within parentheses, a quantity, minus 2. It's a minus because we have a minus right here. And then close the bracket, and don't forget to square it. So there you go. We made quick work of the first 6. All right, so fast forward if you like. I'm going to try not to shake my camera too much. All right, and we'll get the last 4. So section 1.9.2, what these 4 problems come from. Number 7, we want to factor 9x to the 4th minus 64. So if you look at that, you recognize that's the difference, a minus sign of 2 perfect squares. So a is 3x squared, so the square root of x to the 4th would be x squared, and then b is 8. All right, 8 times 8 is 64. So we would factor this into 3x squared plus 8 times 3x squared minus 8. And if you want to check that, and it doesn't matter which parenthesis you write first, FOIL that back out, and you'll end up with the original problem. All right, number 8. We have 25x squared minus 36y squared. All right, so hope you recognize those are two perfect squares there. So A would be 5x, B is 6y. So this would factor into 5x plus 6y times 5x minus 6y. All right, and I would suggest on a test you check it by foiling that back out, but we won't do that here. Number 9, we have x plus 8 all squared minus 36. So kind of like numbers 5 and 6, we have a quantity, but if you take the square root of that quantity, it is a perfect square. So A is x plus 8, and B would be 6. So we're going to utilize brackets here. So this would be quantity x plus 8 plus 6, and then times quantity x plus 8 minus 6. All right, pretty cool. Looks like a terribly unworkable problem, but it does match the pattern. And then finally, number 10, we have x minus 8 all squared minus 144. Well, hopefully you remember, or you can check it in your calculator. The x minus 8 is a quantity squared, so if we take square root of that, we just get the quantity. And then what's the square root of 144? That would be 12. So this would factor into quantity x minus 8 plus 12. And then that bracket times quantity x minus 8 minus 12. So be careful not to put an x plus 8 here. It's this plus and this minus. That would be an easy mistake to make. All right, so but the x minus 8 is the same in both because that's just a. All right, so pretty cool stuff. That does it for the 1.9a solutions. And I will talk to you on the next one.